Welcome and good morning, one and all. We are a digital unique place for the digital leaders to enhance every day, nothing but leader lifestyle hub. We have set the target of completing 200 book summaries in the entire year. And good morning, one and all. As the target is set, we are here on the book number 2064 out of 200. And the name of the book that we have today is How to Win at the Sport of the Business. Let us see what are the lessons. I recommend you to take digital notes or physical notes. Keep hydrated yourself. And let me start sharing the screen and hide me the window. Yes, I hope so it is visible. Let us start our journey of book summary. The context is simple. We will see the blog summary as well as we will go for mind map and we will see what are the new lessons that we can take from this. How to Win at the Sport of Business, written by Mark Cuban. Let us see the target audience and identify whether this book is for you or not. The 24-year-old recent graduate who just wants to party and spend his first few paychecks on fun or entertainment. The 38-year-old on her third startup using venture capitalist funding. Anyone who would like to start a company with their own friends. So those who are looking for creating their own startup company or start a new company, for them this book will help them with a lot of success mantras and wonderful formulas. Let us see the small synopsis of this book. How to Win at the Sport of a Business is a Mark Cuban's account of how he changed his mindset and attitude over the years to go from the broke to billionaire and help you embrace the habits of a successful businessman or successful businesswoman. Mark Cuban saw it coming, the dot-com bust. When he sold his second company, Broadcast.com, to Yahoo in 1999 for $5.7 billion, he anticipated that whatever he had worked on next would likely be non-internet related. Initially, Mark Cuban worked on .com and then Broadcast.com. He purchased it and he sold that company to the Yahoo in 1999. And then he decided to work on next thing that would be non-internet related. He then diversified his wealth to avoid losing it from a crash and is since most notably known for owning the Dallas Mavericks and being a judge on Shark Tank. You might have heard about Shark Tank, where many people, startup companies tried for venture capitalists and tried for funding requests from the different sharks. Let us listen from the Mark Cuban, the author of this book itself. The sport of the business is the ultimate competition. It's a 7 by 24 by 365 forever. It's a competition, ultimate competition. This book is a sort of manifesto he has written in 2011 to share his story and inspire our other entrepreneurs to take a similar path and not to get discouraged. This book tells you to prepare for the long nights and tons of overtime. But that might not be your style. You don't have to follow this book to a T. We all have our own tactics. The real learning happens when you look at Mark Cuban's way of thinking. We are sharing this book to just grab the way of thinking of Mark Cuban and how his inspiration shows in what he does. If a billionaire wraps up his life in a few dozen pages, it's sure worth your attention. Just get this book. It's a quick read. You can complete it within a short period of time. Let us see the top 3 lessons of this book. Here are the top 3 lessons about the sport of the business. You can come back to your passions later. Be okay with slow growth and hire people who are equally motivated. Remember these 3 powerful lessons. You can come back to your passions later. Be okay with the slow growth. And third lesson is Hire people who are equally motivated. Ready to score a 3-pointer, time to shoot out some business hoops. Let us see the business lessons. I recommend you to take digital notes again. Lesson number 1, solve problems now, return to passions later. Many people are chasing for passion. What is my passion? What is my purpose? All these things, lots of things going on. Instead of chasing the passion, try to chase a problem. After being fired from his last job selling software, installing it and fixing up customers' computers, Mark Cuban found his own company, Micro Solutions, to do the same. It was 1983, almost 40 years ago. So everything computer related was new and complicated. People needed help. Instead of fixating on his passion, Mark looked at the world with open eyes and solved a problem that needed to be solved. Only after selling this company in 1990 for $6 million, $2 million of which went to Mark's bank account after taxes. Did he look back into sports and then found a problem he could solve there, which is nothing but live streaming basketball matches? So many basketball lovers were there at that time. So there was a issue of live streaming. No streaming channel came into the market in the time of 1990, and he solved that problem by coming up with the live streaming basketball matches. In turn, when he sold that company 9 years later, he then bought an entire NBA team, which he now also runs as a business. The point is, don't obsess. You are turning your passion into your paycheck too early. Remember this powerful statement. Write it down either on the paper, on the diary, whatever it is. Don't obsess about turning your passion into your paycheck too early. Again, I'm repeating. Don't obsess about turning your passion into your paycheck too early. Mark could have spent the rest of his life trying to become an NBA player or coach and not get anywhere. Instead, he asked, "World, what do you need right now?" This is a powerful question. I always think of this question. World, what do you need right now? And took care of that. Means we need to take care of this powerful question. Write down this question on the paper or digital notes. World, what do you need right now? And the more specific question is, world, what problem I can solve for you? World, what do you need right now? World, what problem or what challenge I can solve for you? You can always come back later and revisit old passions whenever you are not getting ideas. So the main lesson of this book is solve problems now and return to passions later. Let us see the lesson number 2. Learn to be okay with slow and organic growth. The day you borrow money is the worst day of your life. Those words always ring in my ears when I hear someone talk about venture capital and startup funding. The day you borrow money is the worst day of your life. They were said by Gary Vaynerchuk's dad to Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk is the author of Crush It book, and he's a salesman and he's a lot more businessman. And if you want to own your own business, be in control and prefer money over debt, then you should remember them too. Venture investors are sometimes called vulture investors for a reason. This is a funny statement. Venture investors are sometimes called vulture investors for a reason. When you sell a piece of your business to them, they take control of it, therefore taking control of you. Remember this. When you sell a piece of your business to anyone, they take control of it and therefore they take control of you. They not only get to tell you what to do, but worse, if you don't deliver, you can even be pushed out of your company. like Steve Jobs. Like Steve Jobs got fired after some time, right? He has his own dream of Apple, but he got pushed out of his own company. Growing organically takes time. It's not as fancy as going from $0 to $1 million in evaluation with a few investments, but it pays off in the long run. Learn to be okay with the slow organic growth as it's much more stable and profitable. You will also not have to justify your actions to anyone, and no one can tell you what to do with your business. Remember the powerful lesson here. Learn to be okay with slow and organic growth. Let us see the lesson number 3, which is one more powerful lesson. Only hire people who are motivated as you are. Only hire people who are as motivated as you are. Mark Cuban started Micro Solutions with his friend Scott. Broadcast.com was started with another friend of his, Todd Wagner. The first few people you hire will make you or break your company. Remember this powerful statement. The first few people you hire will make your company or will break your company. Therefore, you had better hire people who are just as motivated as you to get stuff done and move the company forward. Not just collect their salary, do average work and go home. This goes really well with the lesson 2, which is saying that learn to be okay with slow and organic growth. Because if you restrict yourself to hiring really motivated people, you will automatically grow slowly and allow all of your employees to develop the customer-centric approach your business needs to have to thrive and not just survive. Even when he was already a billionaire, Mark Cuban kept responding to customer complaints personally, which shows how deeply seated his motivation truly is. So try to capture the way of thinking of Mark Cuban. So don't settle for average employees. Hire people who are just as driven as you are. Let us see the success mantras that author is giving to us. These are the rules for startups. You can take screenshot or you can write down few of them. If you are about to start with your startup company, these are the rules. These rules are taken from this book and are completely related to the book. Don't start unless it is your obsession. If you have an exit strategy, then it is not an obsession. Hire those who will love working at your company. Know how your company will make money and how you will make sales. This is one of the most important points. If you are not aware of this, then the company will not sustain for long run. Know how your company will make money and how you will make sales. Hire the very best of your core competencies and pay them up. For others, hire those that fit your culture but are cheap. Don't spend on trifles, especially on the espresso machines, seriously. No offices are closed spaces. Avoid divas at all costs. For working with tech, start with the tools you know. This is another powerful lesson. Rule: for working with the technology, start with the tools that you already know. Keep the organization flat. Never buy swag unless you are headed to marketing event that's going to add definite value. Never hire a PR firm. Reach out to people personally whose information you want to consume. If you are good, they will use you. Make the job fun for employees. Keep a pulse on stress levels and accomplishments. Let us see the Cuban's mantras for success. Actually, this book has 21 chapters. Out of that, he had given these few mantras for success. Let us hear from Mark Cuban. I recommend you to just focus on the mantras and try to implement at least 2 to 3 mantras for your success as well. Time is more valuable than money. This is what I believe every second and every day. Time is more valuable than money. Engage in random acts of kindness. Be nice to people around you. Also, you cannot get to top without this. No balls, no babies. Work hard, play hard. You have to find ways to blow off steam so you don't blow a gasket. Rather than not do something because of fear of losing, take the challenge and do it. You might fail, but you will learn and then repeat. This is another bulb-on lesson for me. Rather than not do something because of fear of losing, take the challenge and do it. Like currently we are taking the challenge of 200 book summaries. Like this way, you can also come up with your own challenges: 30 days challenge, 21 days challenge, 45 days challenge. Lots of challenges you can take it for. You might fail in the journey, but you will learn and then repeat it. Be prepared for unexpected stuff and be ready to hammer when the iron is hot. Everyone has what it takes. You just need to be ready when your opportunity comes. It's okay to L and be yelled at. Being passionate and putting the important point across is more important than to be extra nice all the time. Everyone gets down in dumps. The key is how soon you get back up. Do your best to be in control of your destiny. This is another aha moment. Do your best to be in control of your destiny. When you catch yourself daydreaming, wake up and figure out what exactly is it going to take for you to do it. Don't get too greedy. Business happens over years, and value is measured in the total upside of the business relationship rather than how much you squeezed out in one deal. You only have to be right once. Is the another rule of mantra of success. You only have to be right once. Let us listen from our listeners. Yes, I want to hear from Soni, Ravikiran, Kitaka, what you have taken from this powerful book summary. Any lessons that you have taken? Hello. Oh, sorry, I need to unmute you. Unmute yourself.
Glad you realized that.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Okay, go ahead, Ravi.
Sorry?
Ravi was speaking, right?
No.
Okay. So this book has so many valuable lessons.
Yep.
I'm still lost into that. So much it has given me a thought process that I'm soaked into it.
Okay.
The only one point I had little slight difference of opinion when
Okay.
it came about. The worst day of your life is when you have to borrow money, which made me think when we borrow money, it depends on the purpose what you're borrowing, which makes it worthwhile or no. So if you are borrowing money in order to attract more, you have a good business plan, and then it is to make more money, then I think it's possible, because even big companies, they cannot start the project just by themselves with the money what they have. Then they will be always limited in their own thing. But at the same time, I mean, say it includes the entire banking industry, right? With all this, but at the same time, you need to be mindful. You really need to be mindful when you are, suppose, giving a part of your business share to someone, and as the book says that you give a part of the business is like giving part of yourself and allowing the other person to control you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there has to be a fine balance between where without giving away control or borrowing of money is of much more sense in order to take a big leap. That risk has to come in a bit, I think. You're not using it for luxury, you're not using it for your lifestyle, but you are using it for a higher purpose.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this is my take.
Wonderful. Ravikiran, what is your take of these lessons that you learned or successful mantras that you take from? Hello.
That point, they never borrow money.
Yeah.
That point, even I had same question, because every business always start with some
Loan or debt. Yeah.
loan. Yeah. And remaining points also, like hire same ambitious people, right?
Yes. Hire the ambitious people as you are.
Yeah.
That's
that is that is not strange, but okay, that is one more point.
mm,
And
great. Wonderful.
Can I add here? So
Yeah.
when you hire people, so it's not only people who are as ambitious as you, but
Mm,
also more talented than you.
mm,
Because when you delegate a work,
mm,
you would like it to be met 100%. So better take a skilled person,
mm.
all right, for the kind of results it's bringing in. What
Okay.
are you driven by? It is the same purpose, mission, in a
Mm,
same hunger and skill. So that kind of a person you need to hire,
mhm.
yeah, in order to form a team towards your mission.
That's true.
And I feel always strange in Americans or Europeans. They start a company, they grow it in 1 2 years, or 5 years. They sell company, they start a new company. So because it is not happen in India in that often.
That is a transaction, and
Yeah.
it's a
Our
transaction
life,
to be happen so that it will move forward. So
maybe it's a mindset issue. I think maybe Indians and foreigners.
they will pick up. Don't worry. And, I think so. In the upcoming years, India will rule over all over the world, especially in terms of business. It is going to improve a lot, as well as if you see all the companies, tech giants, Microsoft and Google, all the CEOs are currently Indians. Right? We'll hope for the best. Let us see.
But
Let
at
us.
this, hmm,
Sorry.
Ravi Kiran, I think that comes from a culture.
Yeah.
We are purpose driven.
Yeah.
We give our life for the the business our ancestors had started. We give our life for relationships and all that.
Yes.
But whereas those startups, they start with the purpose of it's money driven. So the
Correct.
moment the baby comes where she can get more money, their
Mm.
business, when it comes to a point, so
Mm.
they grow the baby, their business, just in order to get it to a point where they can sell and make more.
Mm.
They treat it like bit by bit. Like someone, you acquire a company, then you grow as per their skills. Not many people can raise the baby, so they just take the other baby. And other people, they believe in just dominating the market. So there are such players for which they will take over these startups. So I think that's more money driven or power driven,
Mm.
whereas we Indians are more purpose driven.
Yes.
That's true. Great.
Purpose.
Let us move on to mind map, where we will see more and more information about this book. This will be a small revision, as well as it will be coming with the two different lessons. One is top 3 lessons you have seen. You can come back to your passions later. Find out to problem first and then passion later. Find out one problem to solve and go ahead, do it, and try to find out the solution for a problem. That will be the first priority. Second thing is be okay with the slow growth. And the third lesson we have seen is hire people who are equally motivated. There are 21 chapters in this book. Let us see the chapter titles. At least you will get some ideas of that. The first chapter is the dream of the person. Second thing is lessons learned from the business and the rules of the business, that written by Mark Cuban. And the third chapter was the name, the sport of business. Fourth chapter name is the one thing in life you can control is your efforts. And fifth chapter is scatterbrained in college. Being focused at over 21 is overrated. Sixth one is what are you destined to be? Seventh one, you only have to be right once. And eighth chapter is all about what Mark Cuban learned from Bobby Knight. Ninth chapter, drowning in opportunity, winning battles you are in. 10th one is don't lie to yourself. 7th one, the best equity is sweat equity. Remember this, the best
Wow.
equity is sweat equity. 12th one is 13th one is what will you remember when you are at 90? This is another powerful question. What will you remember when you are 90? And 13th one is connecting to your customers. 14th chapter is it's okay to be a whiner. 15th one is the path of least resistance. At the time of least resistance, how you go forward. And 15th one is need a job. 16th one is take no for an answer. And 17th one is living in a tense economy. And 18th one is living in a tense economy is an 18th one, where you need to say hard words in sometimes. 19th one is why you should never listen to your customers. Last two lessons that we have seen in the blog: Cuban rules for startups, Cuban mantras for success. These are the things that we have seen in the blog. And if you want to revisit the lessons, you watch this video again. And share your one powerful quote of the day and powerful lessons in the comment box. I want to share one quotation that I loved today. Not quotation, but first of all, my connecting point of this book is world, what do you need right now? This question made me to think further on this powerful book. So, world, what do you need right now? Or world, what problems that I can solve for you? This is the one powerful question which is keeping on my mind. I'm not sure how I can take it forward. We'll see it. Okay, go ahead. Sony, what is your one powerful quotation you want to share?
Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all.
Great. Educating the mind without educating your heart is no education at all. Wonderful. Next, Ravikiran, over to you. One quotation.
Super Amazonist quotation.
Over to you, Ravikiran. What is your quote that you want to share?
Quote. What is the best quote?
In my case, I will share first, then afterwards you can go. The bad news is time flies, whereas the good news is you are the pilot. The bad news is time flies easily. The good news is you are the pilot. Written by Michael Altshuler. Okay. So you are the pilot of your time. Use it wisely. Over to you, Vikram.
The only way to do great work is to love what you do, by Steve Jobs.
Love what you do. I love that quotation. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And let us continue our session of book summaries in the next day. We will see another book tomorrow.